like an average
It did it.
bearded
We did
Amazon
it.
truck.
We did
What?
it.
Hey.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Indies Nutz Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Steven Fontana, and with me, he's over there. He's Missed Enough, aka Matt Murray, my furriest buddy from Boston. What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Steven.
That's excellent. I think I figured it out. Discord had some sort of hardware acceleration that was probably taking precedence over my Streamlabs OBS. So
there you go.
We were having some issues, but we're here. We're ready to do a show. This is exciting.
We're ready. It's now.
I'm excited. Are you excited?
Me too. I'm very excited.
We have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of news here, so we're gonna try and do we're gonna try and get through this as quickly, not as quickly as possible, but as concisely as possible. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's some stuff maybe we can exclude from the news if we really want to.
I could exclude you from the news.
Please don't. I feel like I'm very important.
I would agree. But you know what else is really important? What's new on dualscreens.com. We have a new review that has gone up. It is for a game that came out in 2008, but has been remade, or not remade, ported, upscaled and whatnot for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It is called Risen. Jimmy Fitzpatrick, our own Jimmy, did a review for that. And I'll just give you his conclusion here. But check out dualscreens.com if you want to check out his full review. He gives it a Binet, which is our second from the top. Basically, wait for a price drop. At the end of the day, Risen is a fairly average entry into the action RPG genre. Not bad by any means, for sure. There's things to gain from it aside from how hilariously 2009 it is. Excuse me, not 2008. Unfortunately, it's not going to bring anything new to the table for anyone familiar with these kinds of games, and the fact that it's a time capsule is among its strongest attributes. Risen finds itself firmly in the Binet category. Pick it up if you find it on sale. So there you go. Thank you, Jimmy.
It's so weird to me because, like, in my brain, 2009 video game mechanics shouldn't be antiquated, but I know for a fact that they definitely are.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this giant bucket
What?
of water you have.
What's the problem?
No straw or anything. Just water trough. Fucking troughing it here, right on the internet, right on Twitch.
I mean, come on, man. You got to stay hydrated.
Get your Steve Slurp water here from Dual Screens. Buy it by the gallon.
Listen, you got to do what you got to do to stay hydrated in this town, okay? With these all these lights and whatnot, you know?
Yeah, just buckets, man. Just water buckets.
And you got to do the claw because you can't get your hand around it. So you got to
notice.
I
noticed. Yeah,
you
so
got
like
to. It's like street food, like a soup.
Yeah. And you have to stay on camera, so you can't even do it comfortably.
I know. I have to avoid the microphone.
Strain to do the. It's wonderful. Just so good.
Indeed.
Fucking Steve's patented water trough.
Definitely want to check us out live on twitch.tv/dual screens streams so you can see all the stupidity that we do throughout our beautiful show. All right, so let's get into the indie game adventures. It's the games that we've been playing. And I want to go back to, I had mentioned a game that I had started called Meg's Monster. And I got a few more hours into it. And I have some words to say about it.
Can I rename this game better? I don't remember.
Oh no, our cameras are all fucked up. Hold on. It's just my camera, actually. Yours is fine.
Shitty bang bang.
Oh no, your camera's not even there. Look at that. I have to just reset. Anyway, Meg's Monster is not terrible. But it's something that I feel like a lot of these JRPGs that are made by people who grew up in the genre, I feel like they all suffer from the same thing, and that they don't want random encounters, you know, like they don't want that aspect, because they believe that it takes away from like the storytelling. And this game very much focuses on its story. It's almost as if you're playing a point and click adventure where part of the pointing and clicking is fighting. but the fighting is very simple. There's very little to juggle outside of when you want to block, when you want to attack, how hard you want to attack, because you save SP that you use to do heavier and heavier attacks. And then you have to juggle that with the toys. So like you'll find a bunch of toys around, and the toys will do different things. They'll give you buffs while also healing Meg. So like I had mentioned last week, Meg takes emotional damage. So when she sees you get beaten up, you can't die. You have 99999 hit points. You're never going to die. You're the toughest monster in Monsterland, right? But every time you get hit, essentially Meg's bar will go down, and then you have to kind of juggle that. So there are some toys that will only replenish 50% of her mental health, or what, I forget what they call it, her heart. So you fill her heart by 50%, but you'll get a 200%
some kind of
buff on your attack or something like that. So you're constantly, but once you use one toy, it's done for that fight. You can't use it again. So that's the cool part. But every fight results from a character you meet. Like, you're never just going around and fighting random monsters. These are all people. Like, they're monster people. So you'll come across a bouncer that's a security guard that on the council's hut, and you'll come there and you'll fight that person, and then the result will happen. Then the next thing will happen. But like, you only fight characters that are part of this story. You never go into the wild and fight like slime and stuff like that. So it's very much a story driven game. And I just feel like that takes away from the connection that you have to the monster as the player. However, you are connected to the emotional attachment that Meg has and the monster has together. And I think the story's really intriguing. Like, I really would like to know where this is going. There's some shady shenanigans happening. And you're kind of just caught in the middle of all of this stuff. I recommend it if you like story-based games and you don't want a ton of exploration. Everything is done on an overworld map. There's no wandering. There's no nothing like that. There's different points of interest that you literally just click, and then you go to that screen and you walk around, do whatever's there, and then you click the map, and then you go to the next thing, or you just leave and then you go to the next thing. So you could go to your home, you could go to the junkyard, you could go to the market, you could do all these things, and it'll tell you when you unlock a side story, and you could go to do the side story just by clicking it on the map, and then you go to that scene, you play that scene out, you play that battle if there's a battle, and then you kind of move on. So it's not as JRPG as I was thinking it would be. It's much more storybook.
You were looking for a little bit of that grind.
It's not that I was looking for it. It's just that I expected it. And I'm not sure right now where I am in the game. I'm not sure if it makes the game better that it's not in there. I'm not at that point yet, but I'm really enjoying the characters. I think the characters are really funny. It's adult. It's like a young adult, I would say, in its content. It's not all like Disney. This is more for teenagers and young adults, I would say. Adult themes, stuff like that. There's druggies in the game. But you could see on the screen right now, there's like an overworld map. It just disappeared, but you could see what I'm talking about. If you look at, there it is. So if you look at that, you could see like there's the different points, and the green means you have a side mission there, and the red is your main story. So you could just go around doing all these little side stories, fight the guy, not fight the guy, find a toy, and stuff like that. So but I'm enjoying it. I don't hate it. And I want to continue playing it and see if they expand on the formula a little bit, because right now it's just click a space, do the story, fight the guy at the end, go to the next one, and so on and so forth. But I digress.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're having a good time with that still.
Yeah.
Megapocalypse. That is what the name I came up with. That would be better than
No, Crypocalypse.
Crypocalypse.
Crypocalypse. That's what it was. Yeah. Speaking of crying, The next one I want to talk about is a game that you actually did a YouTube short for us that we put together, and it's called Patch Quest. I still cannot understand what this game is. I've tried.
I love this game so much. This game is like such a combination of things that I love. It's bullet hell. It's, it is a Metroidvania. It is a roguelike, and there's just so much to love in this game. Like from the art to the music to the fighting to the exploration and everything. So you're set out to explore this big map, and the map itself, the way that it's laid out is set, but the tiles that are in those maps in the map will kind of randomly shuffle every time that you move through them. So, you'll always go north to go to the hills, and the paths are always the same, but what is in those paths will change every single time that you play.
Sure.
Now, as you're going through, you'll find monsters to fight and all this kind of stuff. And there's different monsters and different biomes, and the further you get, kind of the weirder the biomes get and all this stuff. And you can lasso onto a monster, and you make a big circle around the monster, and once you do that, you'll ride the monster. And now you get unique powers per monster. Like secondary powers. So like as you ride them more, they level up. So you start off with every mount that you get has a defensive power, and so like one might be like you're like a sloth, and you'll trigger your defense, and you like dig underground and like move around for a little bit so you can't be hit. Or like one is like a bee who does like a big zoom attack, and like if you hit somebody and they hit a wall, they take extra damage. But then you'll unlock offensive abilities and eventually an ultimate ability for them. And so each ability is totally, totally different. Like one might surround you in like spinning saw blades or something like that for a period of time, or shoot out a huge wave of bullets from you. On top of all this, there are different fruits all around the world that each make your regular gun completely different. So you have a regular gun that shoots regular bullets, and so you'll pick up like watermelons or something, and it will make like big bullets come out of your gun. Or you'll pick up like a pear that will make it into like a splitter gun. On top of that, now, if you have three different weapons, that you can have three different weapons at the same time. If you hold A, you can consume parts of each of the three and combine them into a super weapon. And it just like keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. It is so fucking wild how many mechanics are in this game, but how well they are executed. It is crazy to me that there is so much depth to so many parts of this game that just works so well.
I feel like there's a word for like all of the pieces coming together to like and working harmoniously, where
like coalesce.
Like no, what is it? That's right, synergy.
Fucking right. Son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. I fucking hate you.
Synergy.
So like really like there are just so many parts of this game that work. You can also choose to set, so your monster mounts have timers that will like count down. You can pick up things that will increase the timer so you can ride them longer. But if you want to, before the timer counts down and you lose them, you can send them back to your camp. As you're walking around and destroying things, you have this little bar that levels up that will allow you to take one of the plants in the environment, and it will get sent back to your camp as well. Every biome obviously has different plants, and so as you're sending monsters back and as you're sending plants back, you can move the plants around and make like the tiles in your base into these biomes by dropping specifically those biome plants on these tiles, making the monsters more comfortable in their natural habitat, making them like you more and allowing you to call on them as like ghost buddies for temporary help during expeditions that you go on in the future. I'm telling you, it sounds so fucking complicated. There's so many different layers. There's like dungeons, there's crazy bosses, there's like perks that you get that you unlock that will change how you play. There's like power-ups that you get to your character and that will change the gameplay completely. it's so wild. There's so much to this game, but as opposed to feeling over like overfilled with mechanics, as much as I'm making it sound that way, everything works so well together. And they introduce things to you at such a well-paced rate
Mm.
that you never feel overwhelmed in the moment. And by the time that they introduce a new mechanic to you, you're already so comfortable with the previous mechanics that they've introduced to you.
It seems like it's got a lot of Isaac DNA in there with the actual combat and like.
It definitely has that bullet hell vibe from Isaac. I would say because of the way that you can kind of tailor what animal you're using at any given time, it definitely feels less stressful
Okay.
than
Sure.
Isaac. I think is probably the best way to put it. Because Isaac is so dependent on how randomly you get items and such, whereas you have so much more agency over which monster you're choosing to ride at any
Right.
given time. But yeah, I don't know. I could talk about this game for a very long time. They just released their 1.0, which added a whole bunch of new mini bosses, regular bosses to the game, and added like an end to the story mode. Everybody should play this game. It is adorable. It's difficult. It is fun as hell to play. There's so much to play with in there, and there's a little bit of something for everybody.
Awesome. Talk to me about Core Keeper as well. This one looks really cool. Also, you threw this on the list. I had another game on the list that I just wasn't able to get to because of my work schedule. But tell me about Core Keeper.
Sure. Core Keeper is just kind of another survival type game. You get dropped into this mine, presumably teleported in somehow, and you're trying to figure out what this core that exists where you teleported is. You can dig through every block in the game, and as you explore, you'll find different biomes to pick stuff up from. You'll bring resources back to craft new stuff, to make different meals that will power you up in different ways. And there are these like different bosses that just spawn in all kinds of different places. So the one that I've fought so far is this like massive, very pissed off slime. He's like huge. He fucking hates you immediately. It doesn't matter if you like him or not. And yeah, it's just like a really good. I threw this on here because it's kind of like Meg's Monsters for You. The last time we recorded, where I just dug in and I'm really, really digging it. But it feels there's like a sense of exploration here that I feel like lacks in some other survival games because everything is dark all the time, and so you're constantly lighting up your environment and kind of seeing, oh, like 2 blocks over there's actually like some room over here, let me go check that out. Or oh, I think I see a little lava down there, what's that about? Like, let me go.
It's got that Minecraft kind of.
It does. It has that Minecraft vibe, and totally really like is pulling you through its world by just pure intrigue. Like you're just purely interested in what's there. What it does have on top of Minecraft, or on Minecraft, I feel like, is the combat. The combat is like super fun. There's a bunch of different weapons you can get. There's like some hints that there might be Diablo style loot. I haven't picked up a whole lot of stuff yet, but like I picked up a bow that had some like affixes to it. So I don't know how deep that is. But yeah, it's a very fun little survival game. If you enjoy it, those types of games. It has like a cute little art style, and I feel like
and it's got
gonna be playing it for a while.
Co-op.
Online co-op too. Yep.
So yeah, we could play this together. It's in early access right now. So again, that's Core Keeper. Check it out if that's something that sounds like something you'd like. The one that I wanted to play that I did not, I'll just really quickly just kind of touch base. It's called Limbus Company. It just looks like a really cool strategy RPG. Really cool art style in this thing. Try and get to some gameplay so you can see it. Again, you can watch this live on twitch.tv/dualscreenstreams. Or later on YouTube. Okay, this is not want gameplay here. YouTube, there it is. YouTube.com/DualScreensTV. So it just looks like a really cool strategy RPG where you're kind of moving around on this like 2.5D plane. It doesn't look like it's true grid, but it looks like you can do foreground, background kind of thing. A lot of your combining a lot of combos and stuff like that. So I don't know, just looked like something I would really, really like to try. And
I really love the Steam description of this game.
As the executive, you want to do it? You can do it. Go ahead.
No, you do it. It's your game.
Okay. As the executive manager of Limbus Company, lead your group of 12 sinners. Venture into the buried facilities of Lobotomy Corporation and lay claim on the golden boughs.
It's nonsense.
What is that? That's a lot of weird words. That's a lot of words. It's a lot of words. It's got very positive reviews, over 6,000 of them.
Yeah, it looks really, really rad.
So I'm going to check that out. It is free to play. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means there's microtransactions or what, but
it looks like it could be a gacha game.
Kind of, but I mean, I don't know, man. The combat looks dope. Like it looks.
It looks really
like you kind of draw out your path and like it just does the thing and does the slicey slices.
Slippity slice.
Slippity sluicy slice.
Felicity slice.
It does it does say it has in-app purchases. So leave that to what you want to leave to. Indie Steal of the Week. We
got 2.
I removed one. So
okay. Why?
Because I didn't get to play it. I can't tell can't tell you if it's steal if I can't play it. What do you got here? Forest fire.
Guys. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
I'm going to start with a question.
Okay.
Have you ever wanted to be a forest fire? Because you can fucking live out that fantasy now.
Sure.
This game is like a weird mix of bullet hell and it's not really like survival genre, but it's like arcadey combo scoring.
Sure.
And so you're running around. You are a forest fire. You're a fire. You stand in things for a certain period of time, and they will set on fire.
Yeah.
The faster you go, the more your combo builds up. There's things like houses and villages and all kinds of things that you can burn down.
Sure.
And as you level up, there's a bunch of different perks that you can pick that will change your run drastically. Things like a ring of fire, like being around you. Right? Yeah, I know. Or like being immune to certain elements, or your fire being triggered faster if you're standing in things. This whole time now, there are these clouds that are all flying at you.
Yeah,
if they touch you, they'll hurt you.
Yeah, of course.
Every once in a while, a fire truck will appear, or like a helicopter that's trying to spray you with water, and you have to fucking wreck those things. It's so stupid and so dumb fun. It definitely has like a little bit of like old school mobile game vibes in a weird way, like because it's just stupid. It's just you're running around smashing shit, getting points.
Sure.
But for I think it was like $2.99 or $6. It was on sale for $2.99. It's naturally $6. It is so stupidly fun, and one of the coolest parts about it is that all of the pixels in it are realistically simulated. And so as you're running into stuff, the way the fire spreads is mesmerizing. There's also oil in the game, which is like that black substance that you've kind of been seeing. And when you run into it, it like instantly fucking vaporizes anything around it.
Sure.
My favorite part of the whole thing is that when you run into like a town or a group of people, the screams are so real. Like it's like this little cute little pixel game, and it'll just be like,
it muted your damn microphone muted you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
It's a really fun, stupid little game.
You could take down the Pentagon. I see. That's pretty cool.
Oh, Link here, Envy.
Forest Fire. That is the name of that game. Also very positive reviews. It is an early access game for $6 hairs.
It's stupidly fun. Go play it.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Trogdor. Burninating the countryside.
Burninating. That is exactly what you're doing. It's so good. It's dumb. It's dumb, stupid fun, and I couldn't stop playing it.
Burning the countryside, burning all the peasants.
People.
Oh, welcome to 2003. My name is Steve. Okay. Now it's time to get into the wish list roundup. These are games that we thought looked really cool and you should throw on your wish list. They are not out yet, or maybe were just released. We don't know. Mostly I mean, there might be demos. You maybe could play a demo, add it to your demo decks. And this brought to you by dualscreens.com/shop. Our shop, our store. Go there, buy a t-shirt. You can get yourself some really cool t-shirts. A slightly blasphemous "Let Us Play" t-shirt, which is my favorite. It's my favorite t-shirt.
Tell you that it was slightly blasphemous?
I mean, it's slightly. I mean, it's kind of a rosary, like, but it's like a rosary, but it's got a little PlayStation controller at the end of it.
Yeah, so like, there's no real religious imagery.
Listen, just let us play, okay? Let us play. My favorite shirt, and it looks dope. And there's also Play More Indies. I Heart Indies is on there as well. A lot of cool stuff. Go over there, dualscreens.com/shop. You help us out. Everything goes into making the product better. So do the thing. All right, let's go into the wish list roundup. The first one here is Rog and Roll.
This game is a 2.5D platformer that just looks rad. It has a lot of like early 90s Sega vibes for me.
Totally. Yeah. Little Vector vibes.
Definitely. And there's like a good like speed to it, right? Like it doesn't seem like a slow platformer. There's parts you'll see the little character like rolling around and gain some speed almost in like a Sonic way, but way better than Sonic because I have opinions.
Because it's garbage.
There looks to be some really cool boss fights in this game.
Yep.
It just looks like something that I am absolutely going to play the fuck out of. It looks amazing.
Sure. It's by Punch the Moon. It is coming soon. It does not have a release date at this time, but mayhaps one day we will know.
Who knows?
Who knows? This other one that looked really cool was VA Proxy.
Yeah,
this one looks dope.
This might be the most gifable game I've ever seen in my life, because that is exactly what got me. I saw this on Twitter. I went back through this dude's, this developer, Pyrolith, posting history, and just like the action gifs from this game look so fantastic. There's a part where he has this scythe weapon on his back. He throws it out, and it like starts to circle around. It circles around a couple of enemies, and then he takes his sword and whacks it, and it fucking circles around back and comes to him. And it just looks like a Fast Furious like hack and slash style game. There's another GIF where he's like riding a mount and a monster is chasing him, and he's like throwing shit at the monster. It just looks great, and it has like PS2-ish level graphics to it, which I feel like are kind of like coming back in style for some reason. For better or worse, this looks like it takes it in stride and makes it look really cool. Some games
it looks dope.
Aren't able to do that. This game looks great.
Yeah.
Wishlisted.
It is listed as an open world Metroidvania.
Yeah, looks fantastic.
Which is a weird combination.
Is it?
Open world Metroidvania.
I mean, that's like what Zelda was. Ocarina of Time is that.
It's not. No. No. It has
because
dungeons to do.
Go to the fucking fire
in order.
Tell me you can go there.
Right. But it's not that by definition doesn't make it an open world.
That makes
open world is yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just a 3D Metroidvania. That's what this is. If that's what it is.
Right.
But like if you're locked out of something because you need to go to someplace else in particular to get the thing, that is the opposite of open. That is closed.
I feel like I kind of get what you're saying now.
That is closed world. I mean, that's whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, but what if it's like what if there's like really big spaces that are open between
It's just
places that you can't
it's
get.
just a 3D fucking Metroidvania. That's all it is.
But what if there's like an open world in the middle of all the things that you can't get to?
It could be both, but I don't think both of them make a new genre.
Okay.
That's just weird.
It's more one than the other.
Yeah.
Are you gonna call it a closed world game? You can't do that. That's
yeah,
weird.
why not? Close world Metroidvania.
That's just a linear Metroidvania. Is all that is.
Isn't it? Isn't it though? Like, whatever. Under a Rock. Tell me about it. This looks cool.
Under a Rock.
Yeah, Under a Rock. Okay, so yeah, I saw this one. All right. So it's from Nordic Trolls. It's our early access game, not released just yet, but it's a procedural open world survival craft game for 1 to 10 people. So you could join 10 of your friends. It reminds me a lot of Grounded, yeah, except you're not shrunk.
This looks cool as
But it looks cool. Yeah, it looks really cool. Build your little community. The graphics they look like they were like not an afterthought like a lot of these sandboxy crafting games where everything looks like mud.
Very Pixar like.
Yeah, it looks dope.
This does look rad.
Throw that in the chat for everybody. Yeah, obviously don't know anything about it, but they're calling it an open world survival craft game. It's got
How do you know?
We
How
don't
know it's an open world?
We don't. I mean, I assume because they're literally.
What if you need things? What if
here's the thing?
Because you can't
here's the thing.
Is
they're
that
not
an open world, Steve?
They are not saying.
Is it? If you
Metroidvania
into the desert,
also.
if you can only go to the desert a little bit because you don't have your
the right clothes, the right clothing.
Yeah.
Because you don't have because you're not wearing the blue version of the thing you have, so you can't be going in the cold. Because that makes a big fucking difference. It's the same outfit, it's just blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. But no, this looks great.
Yeah, it does. It looks really dope.
Curses are real. That's what it says in the description. A procedural open world survival craft game for 1 to 10 players. Explore a primitive but dangerous place with a different evolutionary path. Here, wildlife is oversized. Neanderthals still exist. And curses are real.
I like that.
And the logo looks like Legends of the Hidden Temple.
I like that the implication of that last sentence is that at some point curses were real, but we evolved past them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's powered by Unreal Engine 5. That's what it says. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, this does look really.
I mean, it looks gorgeous.
Like a good time. Yeah, it's a very beautiful. I'm worried that my computer is not going to be able to play it.
Computers.
Yep.
Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Indie News Report. Let's try and get through these smaller ones here. Sons of the Forest, which I forgot was a thing happening. 2 million copies in one day.
24 hours.
Yeah. That's a lot of copies.
The first game,
mm-hmm.
I think I looked this up when we put this article on here. The first game, I believe, only sold like 4 million total or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in one day, this did half as many sales as the lifetime sales for its predecessor.
Was the Forest the one where you're on an island with like cannibals?
Yep.
And you could play with your friends and like go into caves and there's cannibals.
It is, in my opinion, the best survival game on the market.
Because it's a contained story, right? It's not sandboxy. It's like you're surviving, but the story is happening.
Yeah, so it is and it isn't sandboxy. Like it's sandboxy in that you can really build anywhere you want to.
Sure.
There are randomized patrols of these cannibals that go all over the place, but it is a very directed sandbox where you're trying to get to an end point for the story for sure.
Yeah, cinematic. It's
not just like Survive Forever.
It's not like Survive Forever, and then when you feel like you're strong enough, go fight this boss, and then you fight the 4 bosses, and then like Valheim. Like Valheim was very much just survive, build up your thing, and if you feel like you have good enough weapons, you could fight a boss, and then you can. I don't know.
In a weird way, it's Metroidvania-y.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We're done. Thank you for listening.
No, well, so like the caves all have different there's like a lot of different types of caves. Like
Yeah, no,
some of them will have these rock walls that you can climb if you have the right piece. Some of them are like underwater caves, and
but that's a linear storytelling. Like it's like you have an open world where you can craft and survive and all that stuff, but then there's like basically like dungeons that you can explore that once you reach a certain point. I mean, that's fine.
It's really, really good. I haven't dug into the second one yet because I haven't actually finished the first one, although I feel like I'm very close. But if you like these types of games, there are none better on the market. I have heard some weird things about the second one. People saying that it's a little bit wackier than they had thought it would be. The first one had a pretty serious tone with some wacky things that could happen, but I'm not sure. I haven't dug in myself, so I will leave those opinions to when I get to play.
I don't mind a little wackadoo.
Yeah, me either, man.
A little sad news here. The developers of the Origami games, Linceworks, has announced its closure. The reason that they give here is the quote, the economic context was not favorable and we ran out of time. It's very sad. If you guys have not played Origami, especially Origami 2, it's a stealth action game. It's pretty much like you are a shinobi and you go around and assassinate, and you could play with co-op. You could do co-op stealth stuff with a friend, and really cool games. If you've never played them, I highly recommend. If you like stealth, I would say go with the second one because they improved on the formula quite a bit. But I digress. Good luck to all the members of the studio. I hope you guys land on your feet, find something else very soon.
Yeah.
But we'll see. What do we got here? We got
It's all right. The big things that came out. So Paradox Interactive Showcase has happened.
I did not see. I missed this. Yep.
The big things that really came out of it were City Skylines 2, which moved to Unreal 5. Looks fucking amazing.
Yep.
I love these types of games. I know our friend Buzz is super into these types of games, and I can't wait for that to come out. The other really big one was there is a game called Life by You coming out, which is like a Sims type game that is being made by a team that is headed by a former developer of The Sims and Second Life. They only showed like a little bit of it, but it looks really, really cool.
I think this was one of those the community built it,
needs it
kind of thing. Yeah. And I think this is the one that has a big community following. I'm pretty sure. I may be thinking of the wrong one, but I don't know. Those games, I know that there's that's a very passionate fan base for those games. So, yes, you're right. Buzz Killington actually corrects me. I'm thinking of Paralives. Yes, that is 100% correct. That is definitely hits the nerve there.
But yeah, there was a bunch of other stuff that came out of this, but those were the two really big things that came out.
I think the best news that we could talk about here is that the Epic Game Store is about to get a ton of indie games. From PC World, Epic opens itself up to self-publishing, becomes a true rival to Steam. The Epic Game Store launched over 4 years ago, building an appeal for users on high-profile exclusives and tons of freebies. As we know, they pay way more to of a cut for their games when you publish on their platform. The setup, I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. The setup for Epic is similar to Steam. You pay $100 to submit a game, create a landing page, input some business info, and submit your game for review. Notably, the Epic Game Store is preserving the well-publicized 88-12 revenue split. So huge. They take 12%, you get 88%, which is massive. Steam
I feel like this is going to shake up more than people might anticipate that it does, because that split for indie devs is humongous.
Yeah, I mean, you're just going to be able to. There's no reason for them not to also go on Steam. So you're just going to have another place to buy games, and if you don't mind Epic's layout, play it there. I mean, buy it there. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, Steam, Apple, and Google, almost all storefronts do 70/30. I think even Sony and Microsoft do 70/30. Although Microsoft just does whatever the fuck they want with Game Pass, so who the hell knows. Final bit of news here comes from Rock Paper Shotgun. Ghost Ship Publishing announces their first 3 games, including a Deep Rock Galactic spin-off. This is interesting. You threw this one in.
Yeah, I did. So the developers of Deep Rock Galactic started a publishing company not too long ago. They announced Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, which is like a Vampire Survivor's take on Deep Rock. If you don't play Deep Rock Galactic, you should. It is a fucking fantastic game, especially if you have friends to play it with. It's really, really good. This just looks really fun. Even now, in the trailer that they showed, it looks like it has really high level of polish right out of the gate, and so I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that. The second game that they announced is from, what was the name of the studio? Guidelight Games. It's their debut game, and this is going to be a game called Spell Rogue, and it is a deck builder with some kind of dice mechanic to it. Sounds pretty cool. Compared to Slay the Spire, looks pretty rad.
Yes.
And then the last game is from Bitfire Games. And it's called Dark Swarm, and this has actually been compared to Deep Rock Galactic, except that it's from a top-down perspective.
Yeah, I saw that.
So they're procedurally generated levels. There seems to be some kind of tonal difference where this is a little bit more scary and frightening, ominous. It looks pretty rad, though.
It's so funny how, like, Housemarque was known for making this kind of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, there's no money in it. So they stopped making them. And
but
now more, like, other people are just making them because I don't know. But yeah, it looks like a slower paced. It kind of,
let's not, I mean, Housemarque is made.
I just mean the twin stick arcadey style game, the smaller size, you know, in scope. But yeah, this game does look pretty cool. I don't have it prepared to capture it because if it's not on Steam yet, I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, but I just think this is great for Ghost Ship Publishing for that whole team. Deep Rock Galactic has a super deep community. They've been great to their community, and so I can only assume that they're picking games that they think are going to have similar impacts as Deep Rock to publish and to help out. So I'm really looking forward to seeing these and what else they do in the future.
Speaking of the future, there are games coming in the future.
What?
And they are
in the future.
And they are to be kickstarted. Which brings us to the Kickstarter of the week. Missed enough.
Oh boy. This is Zword.
Zword? I don't know if I'm not capturing this yet, but I will.
Oh, come on, man. Why not? It looks so dope. Yeah, I found this on Kickstarter. It looks pretty rad. Kind of like a 2D, 3D top-down deal. The cool thing or it's like unique mechanic is that you'll be finding parts to upgrade your sword in different ways that you like. And the whole idea behind the combat in the game really is customizing your sword to the way that you would like to play. The graphics look cool. The gameplay looks really slick. And the world looks fun to explore. So yeah, I backed it, and you should too.
Zword. I'll drop the link in the chat. It wasn't capturing the window for some reason, so I do apologize to our viewers.
There is an open Kickstarter for this. I don't know why I linked the Steam page and not that, but you can search for this on Kickstarter as well.
Kickstarter. I barely knew her.
Whoa.
Bazinga. Who are you going to kickstart? I'll tell you what you could kickstart. Dual Screens by going to patreon.com/dualscreens.
What a fucking segue.
Just like our Patreon producer, Colton the Apprentice Nestler. Thank you so much. for being our producer for all these years, literally since the beginning. Like 3 months into our Patreon. Is actually no. It was like a year. I think we had the Patreon for almost a year when you jumped on board. But I mean, honestly, you've been supporting us forever, and we love you and thank you so much.
Forever and ever.
Check out the Dual Screens podcast. Andy just did a 1-on-1 with YKev.
Great episode.
Yeah, Paper Clay is a fantastic video game coming soon. He's been making that game on Twitch, essentially. Former guest of the show, now 2-time or 3-time. I think he's a 3-time guest, because the last one he did was Hop Legs with us, and then he was on for something else before that I'm blanking on the name of. But YKev, great developer. So go check that episode out. Follow us on YouTube, youtube.com. Tani Nani, that was the other one. You're right. Thank you, Buzz. Buzz, you got like a weird memory. Like your memory's stupid good. My memory is broken. It's just broken. There's not enough space for the information anymore. There's so much fight or flight going on in my brain at all times that like everything else just doesn't last. It's just like
just screaming 24/7.
Yeah, I wake up like this. and I'm ready to go. I'm just
again.
It's like fuck. Oh shit. All right. Yeah, we made it. We're like when I sleep angry. Like I don't go to bed. I go to bed. Stupid. So
who doesn't like sleep?
I love sleep. I love it. I'm telling you, there's something chemically going on in here that won't shut off in the time that I need it to. Like yes, I don't do the pot smoking, and I don't drink the alcohols. So like I just got me and my Prozac, bro, and sometimes the shit just doesn't sometimes it's like closing a wrought iron gate on a fucking broken dam. Like just sometimes that's what happens. It is what it is.
Go.
Just stop it.
Go.
Just stop it, water. Stop making a broken. I like last night I went to bed early and I couldn't sleep for like 3 hours because I was just thinking of how I'm going to do the thing the next day at work. And have
you tried like just melatonin?
Oh, I have. Oh, folks, thank you so much for watching and listening.
Oh, God.
I love you.
Yes, we can't have that conversation on here.
We can, but we need to, it's going to delay the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching and listening. And as always, please be excellent to each other and play some indies.